Hello and welcome to your advanced observation class. I just wanted to do a quick introduction video to show you how I have Blackboard set up for you and just kind of go through a few of the nuts and bolts of this class. So as you know, this is your second observation class, and just like CHD 165, you are required to do 60 hours of observation in a classroom. The difference is that you're actually going to be teaching and interacting with the children, whereas in 165, you were just simply observing one child for those 60 hours. So hopefully by now you have already found a place where you're going to be able to be in a classroom for 60 hours. And sometimes for the summer that can be a little bit more challenging just because not all preschools, daycares go all the way through the summer, but a lot of them do summer programs. And as long as you are going to be able to teach, preferably with the same teacher, then it's going to be fine wherever you choose to do your 60 hours. Really, the bulk of this class is the teaching of your lesson plans with a few additional assignments that you need to do. So the difference here is going to be I'm not going to focus as much on the content of your lesson plan as much as I am your self-evaluation. Once you've gotten to this point, I trust that you know how to create a developmentally appropriate lesson plan for whatever age group you're working with. So I'm going to quickly glance through the different components to make sure that everything lines up. But what I'm really focusing on is what you learned while you were able to teach. So you have to teach 5 lessons during your 60 hours. Most people don't get started until about week 3 or 4 just because they need to get comfortable in the classroom, learn the teacher's routine, get to know the children. But as you know, for the summer, you're in an abbreviated term. So the sooner you can get started, the better. So over the course of your CHD courses, you have created a multitude of lesson plans. You had to create one for 118, 119, and then you probably created 3 for 145 and 3 for 146. That gives you a total of 8, and you may have even done some additional ones outside of those classes. You need to choose 5 of those lessons. You may want to run them by your teacher. You may need to make some adjustments to it. If you created it for 3-year-olds, but you're working with 4-year-olds, then you would probably need to change your standard. And there may be some parts of your teaching procedure that you would want to change. But really, 75% of this class is going to be those lesson plans. With each lesson that you do, you need to have the teacher fill out an evaluation form. And I'll show you where I have everything for you on Blackboard. When you go to submit your lesson plan, I need to see your lesson plan with the self-evaluation filled out and the teacher's evaluation. So when you click on the link to upload your lesson plan assignment, make sure that both of those documents are in there for me. You can scan the teacher's evaluation, or if she or he decides to fill it out electronically, you can do it that way as well. So let me show you where I have everything in Blackboard for you, just to get you started. So when you look over at our home screen, you're going to see the normal buttons that are there. If you go and click on course information, you're going to see that the first folder there is the assignment packet that I made available for you on the first day of class, and all of the forms that you need. So when you click into this particular folder, here's the assignment packet with all of the information. Here's a letter to your teacher or director explaining what it is that you're going to be doing over the course of your 60 hours. This is your hours log, and I would recommend making sure you keep this in a safe place. I have to have this hours log filled out and signed in order for you to be able to pass this class. The next item that is in here is your self-assessment checklist. Within the first 2 weeks of getting in a classroom, you need to fill out this self-assessment checklist. Fill it out completely. It's a table where it's asking you if you feel like you have mastered a certain skill or if it's something that needs work. So make sure that you make a notation of which one and provide any examples. For instance, if you are supposed to be interacting with the parents and you've had an opportunity to do that, then you would want to make mention of that. Once you fill out the table, there's a place at the bottom where you need to discuss your areas of strength, areas that you would like to work on, and your plan for how you're going to work on those things. So that checklist is here. And like I said, you need to be getting this done earlier simply because you want to be able to document your growth when you get to the end. In this folder is everything you need for the lesson plan. So blank forms, a narrated PowerPoint, but everything you need for the lesson plan is there. One thing I did want to make mention of, because I said that the self-evaluation was so important, I'm going to create either another video or a detailed PowerPoint for you to show you exactly what I'm looking for. I really don't want to see it went great. I wouldn't do anything different because as reflective teachers, we're always looking not only at what we did well, but what would we change next time? What were some surprises that we found? How did the children react to it? So I'm going to do something separate on that in the next week or two. The next thing you see is the evaluation form. This is the one that you're going to do at the end. Your teacher is going to fill out one and you're going to fill out the exact same one on yourself. So that's where you can find that form. And then the last thing is your reflective journal. And I'll show you in assignments how I've set that up for you. So all of that is found under course information. When you go and look under course content, you're going to see that all of the different topics that we are going to be focusing on are all going to be found in course content. And so this was actually copied over from the spring. So you're going to find that it's probably not in exactly the same order that we're going to find for the summer, but you are going to be able to find everything that you need in course content. But really where I want to focus is the assignments, because that's obviously where your grade is coming from. So again, you have your assignment packet. And if you remember, I said that your final exam is the reflective journal. So I did something a little different for you this summer, and I set them up actually as journals. Instead of having to create one final Microsoft Word document, I thought this might be a little bit more user-friendly for you. So there are 7 journals that you're going to fill out over the course of your time. The first and the second one should be filled out now because they don't require anything for you to do in the classroom. The first one really kind of talks about your personal background, and your second one talks about what you want to get out of the experience. But third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh are going to actually have to deal with your particular placement. So when you click on the first journal, what you're going to see is here is the question or questions that you're going to answer, and then you just go up and create a journal entry. And so by the time that you're done, you'll have 7 that are going to be combined into your grade for your journals. So that is the first of the assignments that are listed in this particular folder. The next thing you're going to find is that self-assessment checklist. And like I said, please try and get that done. I would say if you're in the classroom, then within the next week or so. And so everything that you need is there for the self-assessment. Again, your lesson plan and instruction, you will see that within this folder, I have the lesson plan form. This is the form that you need to have the teacher fill out for each of the lessons that you teach. Underneath that in the assignments, you're going to find the 5 different lesson plans. It doesn't matter to me what order you do them in, but whenever you've done your first one, then submit it as lesson plan number 1. So there are your 5 lesson plans. Then you see the evaluations. And again, this is where you're going to have the teacher fill out a final evaluation, and you are going to fill out your own self-evaluation. So both of these need to be uploaded in the evaluations link. So I think that is all that is going to be required of you for this semester. I know that seems like a lot, but really I think it's much more fun because you're actually getting to work with the children, which is something different. Along those lines, please don't forget that legally, in order for you to interact with children, you need to have at least one of the background checks done, whether it is the state police or the social services, and you need a TB test. So if you have any of those forms and I haven't gotten them yet, you can either scan them and email them to me. You can mail them to me. If you're on campus, you can put them in my mailbox, which is in the Princess Anne building. But I really need to have those in order to cover myself and to cover you for being in the classroom. And it's always great to have these because I've had several students who have been offered jobs as soon as they're done with this 60 hours. And because they've already had their background checks and TB tests, then they're ready to go ahead and get in the classroom. So I think that is pretty much the course in a nutshell. Like I said, I am going to create a separate video about the self-evaluation because that really is something that I think is going to be really important for you to focus on for the purposes of this class. You've had to practice writing the lesson plans in several of your other classes, but for this one, I really want you to focus on the self-evaluation and how to be a good reflective teacher. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Send me an email. I try and be very quick about emailing, and that normally is the best way to get a hold of me quickly because it comes through on every device that I have. So have a great time working with the children. I can't wait to read your journal entries to see your own background in education as well as what you're looking forward to working with the children and how things are going. And like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great time.